Hey, Dan Goff here with my first tutorial for codecake.co.uk. Today we're going to be doing airbrushing. This is a basic Photoshop technique, and the technique that I'm going to be teaching you is the one that I personally find the easiest and the most effective. Now, to show you what we're going to end up with, I've actually done half of the face. This picture at the moment is currently undone. However, if I just click this layer here, that's with airbrushing. Without, with. Without, with. I know that you may think, oh, he hasn't airbrushed it that much, but if you do this on a whole image, it will enhance it a lot. And I like to, when I airbrush, keep it looking natural. And this is a bit more airbrush than I would normally go for, but I really do like to keep it natural. I prefer to be able to see the skin tones and whatnot. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to start on a new fresh composition. So I'm going to copy this image, which is Command copy. And once I've copied the image, I'm just going to go File, New, and here we go. When you create a new file in Photoshop, if you've copied an image, it will automatically be at the dimensions that the image is. However, if you want to change it, then you just will click into here, type the number. The resolution is how big the image is. If you're going to be printing something, for example print work such as business cards, then this will need to be at 300 dpi or higher. However, for normal things it will generally be 72, and the image that you're going to be doing is probably 72. Now, first thing you notice is you have a blank white canvas. Now if you just do Control V or Command V, then it will paste onto your canvas. You'll now have two layers, as you can see at the side. One, layer 1, and another one called background. Go ahead and delete the background, you don't need it. Now, Control J will duplicate the layer, or if you're using a Mac like me, then it's Command J. This gives you two layers. Now this is important for airbrushing. You will need two layers. If something goes wrong as well, you may want three. So here we go. Layer 1 is your base layer. This is the original image. Think of that as what you really look like, and think of layer 1 copy as what you're going to look like. Now this is where we get to start having a bit of fun and changing stuff around. So to get going, we'll go to Filter, which is at the top, down to Blur, and then to Gaussian Blur. Now, depending on your image size, this is going to vary, but just zoom in on your skin on the preview and just look at when your skin feels about the right smoothness. Now, I'm personally going for 8 pixels because I feel that that's enough. You may want to go more, you may want to go less, it totally depends. So I've done that now, but this isn't how your picture's going to end up. So we're going to add a layer mask. Now it's a little white circle on a canvas, it seems. Go to the fill tool on the left of your screen and look and make sure that your foreground colour is black. If it is black, just hover your little paint bucket onto the middle of the face or anywhere on the canvas, it doesn't really matter, and click, and you'll notice that all the blurriness is gone. Great, we're back to our normal image. Let's get shopping. If we go to the eraser tool here and then go up to the brush, we can increase and decrease the brush size. You may want to go for 100 and something, or you may want to stay lower. It totally depends on your image. However, with your brush there's one thing you should always have, and that is your hardness at 0%. When doing this process, you just want to have a smooth lines. You never see someone with harsh, smooth bits on their face. It just doesn't happen. If you're doing a big area, such as the cheek, then you may want to be using a bigger brush. Whereas if you're doing a small area, such as above the lip, you'll be wanting to use a smaller brush. So, if we begin, we'll just start by smoothly going over things. Just imagine this is your base. It's not going to be how it looks at the end, and it may be too smooth or not smooth enough. We can adjust this. You should be coming along nicely as you carry on, but remember, there are lines in your face that you have to have. For example, my dimples, or whatever you'd call them, they are part of me and they're part of my face structure, and if I remove those, it won't look like my face. So keep those in, little details such as that. Okay, this is about as much as I'm going to do. I won't be needing to do much more than that. Now, that may look a bit just fake and plastic to you, so one thing you can do is go over to the right of your desktop, look here where my mouse is now, and click on the layer 1 copy image. It will be a little thumbnail image of your layer. Now, go filter, noise, and add noise. This is to give a skin texture onto your image. Notice in the preview pane that when it's on 0% or 1%, it's not very noisy. If you turn it up to 4000, it's like a static TV. I personally, for this tutorial, will probably be going with I'd say 2.5. No, that may be too much. So I'll go 2.3, or maybe 2. 2 looks good to me. I'm not too fussy because you guys can refine this. This is, as I said, just to add texture. Now, if you feel that you're too smooth, if you feel that the skin is too smooth, then go to Sharpen, Smart Sharpen, wait for it to load up, and then on here you can up the radius and leave the amount, and it will hopefully sharpen your image. However, sometimes it doesn't work for some images. It's a bit of a pain, but if you need to, you could just start again. But as you can see, that did sharpen my image. However, I don't want to do that. I want to leave it how it was. And now, if I zoom out, we can look at if anything looks unnatural. That line looks a tad unnatural, so what we're going to do is go onto this, go onto the eraser, and just take the opacity down to about 30, and just click once over the whole thing. That will just make it a bit smoother. If you notice, like me, there's a blemish here. It's not very noticeable, but it is still a blemish. To get rid of this, get a big low hardness brush, so mine's 62 pixels and the hardness is 0%. Alt, whilst you're, you've got to go onto the image layer thumbnail, which is where my mouse is now. Then Alt, find a smooth patch of skin. I'm going to go with this part here. Hover over to the blemish. Away is there is no blemish left. Simple. If you feel that it's too much, then you can just lower the opacity, or up the opacity. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. If you've got any questions, leave them in the comments below, or if you have any ideas for future tutorials, then let me know. thank you, and I hope you watch the next one. Bye bye.